A Buddhist is traditionally defined as somebody who takes refuge in or relies upon the three jewels: the Buddha as teacher, the Dhamma as the path to practice, and the Sanga, the community, as the companions with whom they practice the Dhamma.
There are three main traditions, Mahayana in East Asia mainly, parts of Southeast Asia as well. Vajrayana is more practiced in Central Asia, and Theravada Buddhism in Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia.
So with geographic dispersal, with lack of communication between different centres of Buddhism, even in India, let alone when it spreads outside, definitely geography and accident, in a way, played its role in ensuring that one tradition emphasised particular scriptures, another tradition emphasised their particular favourite scriptures. In this kind of happenstance way, the tradition grew.
The Buddha was born in the royal family. But at the age of 29, he lived happily, but he found that there's a samsara, which means the birth, getting old, ill, and die. So he left the palace and went out to learn how to find the truth of life. And then he practiced by himself as well, by vipassana meditation, training the mind. And at the age of 35, at the Bodhgaya, under the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment, and he knew the truth of life, the way of life. And he was wondering who he can teach, because this is a high stage of knowledge. He went to teach his disciples who used to be with him before, and the first sermon he taught on the Four Noble Truths, which is the foundation of the Buddha, and how you can get rid of suffering. You have to do Noble Eightfold Path. So when we know the life of the Buddha, we know how to be happy and live the life to the full with the consciousness and without suffering.
Our texts are called Tipitaka. The word Tipitaka means the three baskets or three collections of the Buddha's teachings. And there are Vinaya Pitaka, the collections of monastic codes and rules, rite and ritual. Then Suttanta Pitaka, the collections of the discourses given by the Buddha himself or by his closest disciple. And then the last one, Abhidhamma Pitaka, the collection of Hara teaching. Abhidhamma means the Hara teaching. In Theravada tradition, the Buddha's teachings were recorded in Pali language. So for us, Tipitaka is the main source. In order to examine, to investigate, even to make a comparison if the teaching is right or wrong, we always goes back to the source. It's very large, I think about over 20,000 pages.
Other schools in India wrote their scriptures in Sanskrit, for instance. The Tibetans translated these from about the 8th century onwards, although it took several centuries actually. There are scriptures which we feel are authentically Buddhist teachings, which are not included in the Pali Canon, but which we include. In short, the Mahayana teachings and the Tantric teachings. So we consider they're legitimately part of the Tripitaka. Dhamma is a Sanskrit word and has actually many meanings, but in this particular context, we mean the body of teachings that stems from the Buddha's activity 2,500 years ago. So it's not just literary scriptures, but it's also this presentation, transmission of teachings as direct personal advice from one master to their disciples. All that is the Dhamma.
So basically, monks have two tasks: learning and teaching. Learning about the teaching and then spread the teaching. To be a good monk, you need to know all of the monk's precepts. So the 227 precepts are called Patimokkha, monastic codes. In fact, as a Buddhist monk, we have more than that. And I thought there are approximately 3,000 precepts for monks. The minor one, for example, as a Buddhist monk, if you don't have the wound on your face, you are not allowed to use the mirror. If you need to take a nap during the daytime, you need to close the door. You can't simply leave the door open and then take a nap during the daytime. But these precepts are not included in 227 precepts. We call them minor rules.
所以戒律是我们的根本，也是我们做人的基础。就像一个国家没有法律，家庭没有规矩，是没有办法成方圆的。所以戒律就是我们一个学佛修行人的准则。作为一个佛教的女性，在出家之后呢，其实我们现的是大丈夫相。那么这是超越性别，所以在僧团里头，不管是男性或女性，其实我们承担的是一样的，都是如来的家业。
For lay people, their main job is to support the monks' work. For example, to support the monks with food, accommodation, robe. We show appreciation to the Sanga. Sanga means the members of monastics for what they have done from the beginning, from ancient time until today. We have a chance to learn about Buddhism because of the Sangha, because the Sangha members and hand the Buddhist teaching from generation to generation until our time.
So we're looking at a horizontal scroll written in Chinese that would have been read from right to left. And in terms of, so you have columns of text, and they would have been also read then from top to bottom. It's about 5 meters long, and so it's made of several sheets of paper that were originally glued together. So it starts with a beautifully illustrated frontispiece. In the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha basically explains that there is no such thing as a permanent, not changing self. This is a very special copy of the Diamond Sutra because it's the world's earliest reliably dated printed book. By using printing, then monks or Buddhist believers found a method that allowed to reproduce the text with extreme accuracy, but also on a very large scale.
The Lotus Sutra is one of the most influential sutras, particularly in East Asia, and it's regarded as being one of the key texts containing the teachings of the Buddha. One of the key doctrines of the Lotus Sutra is that all sentient beings, all living beings, can attain Buddhahood in their current existence.
佛教还有佛法对我而言，它不单单只是一个信仰，它更是一门生活哲学，因为它改变我的生命，改变我的思维，甚至改变我对很多处事的一个方法。它是一个人生的大智慧。